As moms, we send our kids out into the world full of hope.
And we don't want something like meningitis B getting in their way.
Meningococcal group B disease, or meningitis B, is real. Bexsero is a vaccine to help prevent meningitis B in 10 to 25-year-olds.
Even if meningitis B is uncommon, that's not a chance we're willing to take.
Meningitis B is different from the meningitis most teens were probably vaccinated against when younger.
We're getting the word out against meningitis B. Our teens are getting Bexsero.
Bexsero should not be given if you had a severe allergic reaction after a previous dose. Most common side effects are pain, redness or hardness at the injection site, muscle pain, fatigue, headache, nausea, and joint pain. Bexsero may not protect all individuals. Tell your healthcare professional if you're pregnant or if you've received any other meningitis B vaccines. Ask your healthcare professional about the risks and benefits of Bexsero and if vaccination with Bexsero is right for your teen.
Moms, we can't wait.
I have lived on this street for 64 years.
Broad daylight, they broke into
The front glass door.
stole whatever they could get their fingers on. I need a home security system. I need something for protection.
It's Shaq and Jamie, ma'am.
My heart's going blah, 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 blah.
Get you some rings and make your home safer. Shaq and I just put this up for you.
Hey, Shaq, what are you doing there?
Now you have your Ring doorbells in the front, your floodlight cams in the back.
I love making neighborhoods safe. We're always home, baby.
This place is cool.
As a software factory should be.
So it runs on software?
It is software, enabling continuous delivery, frictionless security, agile across your company from mobile to mainframe.
I have no idea what you just said.
If you're going to compete on this, you're going to need all this.
So who does all of this?
CA Technologies.
Just remember being in the very far corner and seeing everybody in front of me just drop one by one, like flies, like just everybody dropping to the floor.
Wow, today marks a year, believe it or not, since the deadliest terror attack on American soil since 9/11, when a man pledging allegiance to ISIS walked into an Orlando nightclub and killed 49 people and injured dozens more. Now, a new documentary tells the story from the victims themselves. Charlie Min is that filmmaker behind 49 Pulses, and you can find out more about that on 49pulses.com. Charlie joins us right now. Charlie, what prompted you to go down there and recreate this moment and really examine what happened?
Well, Brian, I've made 23 documentaries since 2010, and most of them represent innocent people who have been murdered. I'm here to give them a voice.
Right, and what did you discover when you went down there?
Well, a lot of the victims are upset at the length of time. It took 3 hours and 12 minutes for the shooter to be taken down. In 1999, because of Columbine, the SWAT policy changed, where you're supposed to go in and get the active shooter rather than surround and contain. So there's no excuse for this to happen in 2016.
Well, you have different things. For law enforcement, we'll leave it to the law enforcement experts. But in terms of the terrorist, who really is the guy that we should focus on, this guy swore allegiance to ISIS. He killed in the name of Allah. Why?
Well, we've been seeing this disturbing pattern, Brian. Look at all the incidents in the last few years, whether it's Paris, Brussels, Ariana Grande concert closer to home. We have Orlando, the Boston Marathon, San Bernardino. One way I think that we could beat ISIS is to not talk about them. I think it creates copycats. So every time ISIS is mentioned, we're feeding their ego. And again, it creates copycats. We have to stop talking about them and discrediting them.
That's very interesting, because you do not mention the killer's name, the terrorist name.
I don't mention in the movie, yes.
But we do know that Ramadan started, and guess what happened? We had 2 London attacks, attack in Paris. We might have had one in the Netherlands over the weekend. Here's some eyewitnesses talking about what it was like to go from a night of partying to a night of terror.
I found out later on, I think he had called the news media and trying to let them know that, to get his message across, that America needs to stop bombing ISIS in Syria. When we heard that, we're like, oh my God, is this really what we're hearing?
When he said he had bombs to light up a city block, at that point, I started making peace with God and peace with myself.
When you went down there, obviously these people and others in the area, they're still traumatized by it, right?
Absolutely. Today being the one-year remembrance, that's what the victims want to call it. Just a few hours ago, 2 a.m. Eastern time, about 200 mourners were out at the Pulse. My cameraman was there getting some shots. So we're going to have a full day of remembrance to honor the victims today.
So awesome. Great. I'm so glad you're focusing on them because that's what it's about. We have to stop it. 49pulses.com to find out more. You're going to submit it to Sundance. Best of luck, Charlie.
Thank you, Brian.
All right. Meanwhile, coming up straight ahead, we move ahead. This high schooler wanted to make his yearbook great again, but the school edited out Trump from his photo. Now he's not the only one that's censored, who's a censored student, and he's going to be here live next. And a food critic says you shouldn't eat Chick-fil-A because of its Christian values, but his comments backfired again in a big way for Chick-fil-A.
We're on to you, diabetes. Time's up insufficient prenatal care. And administrative paperwork, your days of drowning people are numbered. Same goes for you, budget overruns. And rising costs. Wipe that smile off your face. We're coming for you too. For those who won't rest until the world is healthier, neither will we. Optum, how well gets done.
Before fibromyalgia, I was a doer. I was active. Then the chronic widespread pain drained my energy. My doctor said moving more helps ease fibromyalgia pain. She also prescribed Lyrica.
Fibromyalgia is thought to be the result of overactive nerves. Lyrica is believed to calm these nerves.
For some, Lyrica can significantly relieve fibromyalgia pain and improve function. So I feel better.
Lyrica may cause serious allergic reactions or suicidal thoughts or actions. Tell your doctor right away if you have these, new or worsening depression or unusual changes in mood or behavior, or swelling, trouble breathing, rash, hives, blisters, muscle pain with fever, tired feeling, or blurry vision. Common side effects are dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, and swelling of hands, legs, and feet. Don't drink alcohol while taking Lyrica. Don't drive or use machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. Those who have had a drug or alcohol problem may be more likely to misuse Lyrica.
With less pain, I can be more active.
Ask your doctor about Lyrica.
With hotels getting so expensive, how do you find great deals anymore? Well, Priceline found a way with Express Deal Hotels. We work with top hotels to fill their unsold rooms, saving you up to 60%. Just tap and go. Check them out now at Priceline.
This summer, Bass Pro Shops want you to take someone fishing. And there's no better place to get started than the Bass Pro Shops Gone Fishing event. Plus, get up to a $2,000 gift card with purchase of select Sun Tracker, Regency, and Tahoe boats.
All eyes on Ivanka. The president's daughter sits down with Fox and Friends. An exclusive look at how she sees more jobs coming to America. A must-see interview today.
Nobody just gives it to you. You gotta find the right moment and take it.
That's right, on time is tricky. It's tricky, 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 tricky. It's tricky to rock around. That's right, on time is tricky. It's tricky, tricky.
Ready to do more, but work less? Meet the Works Aero Cart. It makes heavy things feel lighter than air. The secret is Aero Cart's breakthrough design. The wheels are right under the weight, so every load will instantly feel 4 times lighter. And forget this. With 2 wheels, Aero Cart has a super stable wheelbarrow. It's also a hand truck, personal forklift, rock mover, over 8 machines in one. Live less, do more. Get your Works Aero Cart today.
Here's some quick headlines for you. Another arrest overnight in the London terror attack. British authorities arresting a 19-year-old man, marking the 21st arrest overall. This as we get our first look at the fake suicide vests that are worn by the 3 killers. Police say the blood-spattered belts made from plastic water bottles wrapped in duct tape were designed to create maximum fear. And terror leader Oscar Lopez Rivera cheered and booed while being honored at New York's Puerto Rican Day Parade. His terror group claimed responsibility for more than 100 bombings across the U.S. And while that was happening, Puerto Ricans overwhelmingly voted to become the 51st state. Congress has the final say on whether or not that happens. We'll have to see. Steve?
Thank you very much, Ainsley. A New Jersey high school student New Jersey high school, that is to say, under fire after President Trump's name is removed from 2 students' yearbook photos. You can see them wearing the name on their clothing. And another student's quote from the president also excluded. Now, the school says they have no policy preventing students from expressing their political views. And it was all within the dress code. So what happened exactly? Joining us right now is one of those censored students, high school junior, Wyatt Dobrovich-Fago, joins us right here in Studio F. Wyatt, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You got class a little later on today, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to make it, hopefully make it in time.
So tell us what you know. You got your yearbook when?
Last week at about Wednesday.
All right, and you opened it up, very excited to see that sweater that you're wearing right there.
Yes,
and what'd you see?
It wasn't there. It was cropped out of the yearbook, as well as my sister's quote was cropped out of the, was not put into the yearbook.
Right, and we can put up the images. It wasn't just that your photo was cropped. Somebody photoshopped Trump off that. And it wasn't just with you, was it?
It was with another student in my grade. And so when you put all these stories together, there's definitely something going on. There's a deliberate attempt to censor and to silence someone's freedom of speech.
All right. When you realized, and there's the other student, his name is Grant?
Grant, yeah.
All right. And clearly Grant's shirt has been
so blatant,
photoshopped.
yes.
There's no doubt about what had happened there. The big question is, what happened? Any idea?
I don't know. I guess someone just didn't like our president and wanted to not have him in the yearbook, but that's taking away mine, Grant's, and my sister's freedom of speech and freedom of expression.
Sure. Keep in mind, Donald Trump is the president of the United States today. It's a part of history. It's not like they can just Photoshop that away. He's the president. Maybe somebody doesn't appreciate that back in the Photoshop department.
And this is where I think that with everything that's going on in today's country and stuff, this is where it's got to end. You can call anyone names, you can say whatever you want, but censoring someone's freedom of speech and freedom of expression is where we've got to stop where this stuff happens. It's insane.
Sure, and we've got an image of your sister, who is the freshman class president?
Correct.
And she submitted a quote, and it was, I like thinking big. If you're going to be thinking anything, you might as well think big. That's a quote from President Donald Trump, and they didn't even put her quote in there, even though she submitted it on time and asked the advisor if they'd gotten it, right?
Yep.
Something seems kind of fishy.
Something's a little fishy.
All right. So what do you want? We should also point out that the school district said the allegations are disturbing. Indeed, the administration applauds students for becoming involved in politics, making their voices known, and taking an active part in our democracy. There's a statement right there. What do you, so they're going to, I understand your mom's going to meet with school officials later today to try to figure out what happened. What do you want to happen?
I think that it would only be fair to make sure that all the yearbooks are reissued with our photos fully intact the way they should be, and with my sister's quote into the yearbook. And I think also that the people or person who did this should be held responsible, because it is a violation of mine and other people's First Amendment rights, and that's wrong.
So essentially you want to find out who the Photoshopper is. You want to unmask them.
We want to unmask the Photoshopper.
All right. Well, the meeting is a little later on today, and we will share tomorrow with our Fox and Friends viewers what happened. All right.
Definitely.
Wyatt, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. What do you think about that? Email us, friends@foxnews.com. Crazy, right? Meanwhile, coming up, the mainstream media says the weekend's massive protests around the country were anti-Muslim. But were they?
Are you out here protesting against Islam or against Sharia law?
Against Sharia law. I have nothing against Islam.
Pete Hegseth was there. He heard what the mainstream media won't tell you, and he's going to share it coming up next. And pride denied. A teenager blocked from walking at graduation in his military uniform. How the school is trying to spin that way. But first, happy birthday to former President George Herbert Walker Bush. He's got 93 candles on his cake down in Houston today.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't use my cell phone when I'm driving. Even though my family does and leaves me all alone. Here's something else. I don't share it with Mom. I don't. Right, Mom? I have a brand new putter you don't even know about. It's awesome.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate.
Sometimes I leave the seat up on purpose.
Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Home is where we kick off our shoes. But when family members forget, trust Angie's List to help. Visit angieslist.com today.
Spring is here, and so are the allergens and pollen that come with it. Lucky for those who suffer from asthma and allergies, there's Stanley Steamer. Call or go online for our $99 special.
Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
If you have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, isn't it time to let the real you shine through? Maybe it's time for Otezla, a Premolast. Otezla is not an injection or a cream. It's a pill that treats plaque psoriasis differently. With Otezla, 75% clearer skin is achievable after just 4 months, with reduced redness, thickness, and scaliness of plaques. And the Otezla prescribing information has no requirement for routine lab monitoring. Don't take Otezla if you're allergic to any of its ingredients. Otezla may increase the risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Side effects may include diarrhea, nausea, upper respiratory tract infection, and headache. Tell your doctor about all the medicines you take and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Ask your dermatologist about Otezla today. Otezla, show more of you.
How your clothes smell can say a lot about you. That's why new Downy Protect and Refresh conditions fibers to lock out odors. So clothing odors don't do the talking for you. Lock out odors with new Downy Protect and Refresh.
When I first started working with Capital One, my dad called them up and asked for the Jennifer Garner card, which is such a dad thing to do. After he gave his name, the woman from Capital One said, "Mr. Garner, are you related to Jennifer?" kind of joking with him. And my dad was so proud to tell her, "As a matter of fact, she is my middle daughter." So now Dad has the venture card, he's earning his double miles, and he made a friend of the company.
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
What's in your wallet?
Nice job, Dad.
Well, this weekend was Fox Fan Weekend. People from all over the country flew to New York to be with us, and there, let's start in the beginning. There's Janice and also Ainsley and little Ainsley's baby Hayden and me wearing the Fox Fan sunglasses. And there are the Ducey girls. Mary came up from Washington, D.C., and Sally Ducey attended as well. A good time with all the free food for the Ducey clan.
Oh, that's great. And then who is this? That's Jillian. There's Brian. Oh, and that's Rob Schmidt. And who are you with, Brian?
That's the Fox guy.
Foxbot.
The Foxbot. Oh, look at Janice. How cute. Standing over our faux home plate and swinging. You look, good form. Okay, good. Yeah.
And guys, I was there, but thanks for including me.
Yeah, I know, really. I have my family pictures too. I guess they didn't make it. I guess they've seen my family before.
Didn't make the cut.
Well, I'm sure we're going to show
just so
it
you know, my
morning.
family got older.
Messing with you.
All right.
We'll show
That's just
pictures
what they want to
throughout the
hear.
morning. That's
right.
a tease. Stay tuned to see his
That's
kids.
right.
And
We've
Pete,
got
what were you
lots more.
wearing, just in case we don't see any pictures?
Yeah, you won't see it.
Meanwhile, many in the media portrayed the nationwide protests against Sharia law over the weekend as a protest against Islam.
The clashes erupting into brawls here at home over Islam.
Protesters and counter-protesters squaring off across the country tonight, either against the threat of Islamic law or in defense of Muslim Americans.
Activists say anti-Sharia groups promote a distorted view of Islam.
What? But does that paint? Do you want me to read?
Yeah, it
got your name
says
on
Brian.
it. Oh, it did? I didn't even see my name on that.
Yeah.
What did it say? Can you roll it back a little? Just roll it back a little.
There you go.
I didn't see my name on that. But that doesn't paint an accurate picture. Go ahead, Ainsley.
That's because our own Pete Hegseth, he went out to the protesters and he talked to them to find out what they were really protesting, and it wasn't Islam.
It's not that, no, because we knew that's how the mainstream media would characterize it. Right. There were 28 of these protests across the country. There was one right here in Foley Square in New York City. So I went down there. I said, rather than the characterization, let's ask the protesters themselves why they're there. And this is what they said.
Today there's a protest going on to protest Sharia law, which is an extreme version of Islam.
I don't think that killing people or mistreating women is a religion.
So you're not out here, are you out here protesting against Islam or against Sharia law?
Against Sharia law. I have nothing against Islam.
I want to make sure that we're aware of everything that Sharia is, everything extremist Islam stands for, and we're aware of the dangers.
Are you here to protest against Islam?
It's not against Islam. It's against Sharia law.
Every radical Islam come from their law. I mean, do we have to stop that already? America had to be strong about this.
It's not about being against Muslims. It's just being against the ideology of, I guess, murdering homosexuals and treating women as a second class, maybe under a second class citizen, just dehumanizing.
Over in Britain, they were just frogs boiling in water, and now they're dead.
Critics will say that you're anti-Muslim. Are you anti-Muslim?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think what needs to happen really is a reformation of the religion from the inside, and I feel like that needs to start with Muslims. So we need Muslims. The fact is that none of these people would want to kick out Muslims from this country. That's not what we're about here. At least that's my understanding of America.
Pete, who organized this event?
Well, an organization called Act for America, but it was ultimately a number of different organizations that came together to say, hey, we're not against Islam. We're patriots who love this country. We see what happens in Europe when we don't have the kind of commitment to a shared collective identity. We want to make sure that the radical forms of Sharia law don't make their way quietly or silently into America. So we're going to stand up with our First Amendment right.
And so the people that were against that protest were against, were they in support of honor killing? Are they support of disrespect towards gays? I mean, do you know what these people actually subscribe to?
I don't think
with Sharia law.
Of course, if they really understood what Sharia law would do to people, they wouldn't be out there counter-protesting. Instead, they're embarrassed for
Why
them.
doesn't the media? Why does the media say that then? Why are they saying these people are anti-Islam? They're not. They're anti-Sharia law.
Because if you even dip your toe into the water, you're anti-Muslim, right? But when you talk to these people, they understand what they're protesting against, and it's not Islam. It's you're welcome here. Right. Just believe in the Constitution, not a separate religious set of laws.
Surely. Okay. All right, Pete. Thanks for going
guys.
to that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And Fox Fan Weekend as well.
We'll see you later, maybe.
Busy.
I guess he was there. I'm not sure.
Oh, he was there. I saw him. I spent a lot of time with him.
Right. Again.
All right.
I'll take your word for it.
22 minutes before the top of the hour, Jillian's got some headlines.
Yes, I do. Good morning to you guys. Good to see you, Pete. Good morning to you at home. A man freed after 17 years in prison thanks to a suspect who not only looks exactly like him, but get this, they've got the same first name. Richard Jones on the left was convicted of armed robbery in Kansas back in 1999. This was based on eyewitness testimony. Lawyers then found a picture of his doppelganger on the right, you can see, during a recent court hearing. The same witness couldn't tell them apart. Now, the other man who lived near the crime scene testified that he wasn't the robber. Interesting turn of events there. So a high school student barred from walking at graduation because of his service uniform. Harlan Fletcher, a U.S. Army Reserve medic, says he was originally told it was okay to wear his Army blues. But when he showed up to the ceremony in California, administrators turned him away.
They said they had an extra cap and gown. I said, sorry, I can't do that. That's defacing the uniform. That's against, the uniform policy.
The school has apologized to Fletcher, thanking him for his service. A food critic is sparking outrage online for saying you shouldn't eat Chick-fil-A. Ryan Sutton's article on Eater.com criticizing the fast food chain for its Christian values and conservative views. The backlash was swift. Ashley tweeting, quote, why? Because it's delicious? Because they pay their employees well? Treat customers with respect? I'll eat there twice today. Another person posting, so basically you hate Chick-fil-A because of the founder's religious beliefs. That's actual bigotry. And someone tweeting this GIF with the caption, me at Chick-fil-A. So another story now, a real-life political drama playing out on the stage. Corporate sponsors rushing to drop taxpayer-funded Shakespeare in the Park. This after a play portrayed President Trump being brutally assassinated. Delta Airlines and Bank of America both ending their sponsorship of the public theater's Julius Caesar. Next hour, we'll be joined by someone who saw the play in person. That's definitely getting a lot of attention, guys, this morning, the last couple of days especially.
And the New York Times and also American Express still sponsoring that event.
And using public dollars.
Absolutely.
The public theater.
Right.
Yeah.
Jillian, thank you very much.
That's why I stay home and watch Netflix. That's what I would do. All right.
Yeah, but you're using my password.
Oh, that's true. That's a
Is that
problem.
happening?
Well, yeah, it is.
You use his password.
No, he's kidding. All right.
Janice, you had a big weekend for Janice over the weekend.
Absolutely. I was talking to your husband yesterday, and as it turns out, he got remarried this weekend.
He did. Oh, I mean, it's been 10 years. We got married at City Hall 10 years ago, and my husband, a few months ago, we were catching up on the kids' day, and he was like, we got a big anniversary coming up. Maybe we should get married at church. Make it legitimate. And I thought that was a beautiful idea. My kids got to take part in the wedding. Father Gary at Holy Trinity, Upper West Side, hosted the beautiful event that we had. Joshua Zuckerman took beautiful pictures here. There he is, Father Gary. And it was just such a special, we're not really religious, but religion has been part of our lives. We're Catholic. And after we baptized our kids and then Matthew went through his Holy First Communion, we thought it would be really special to do it in the church. And it really was. You can't even really explain it, but it just feels so special to be in, the house of God,
right.
and to make it legitimate.
Oh, well, we get it. The Duceys, Mr. and Mrs. Ducey got renewed our vows in the church, I think at our 15th anniversary.
I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. Our love is very strong. We've been through a lot in these last 10 years, a lot. And to have our kids there, Matthew was an altar boy. Father Gary made sure that all the children that were there were participating. We had beautiful flower girls there, and it was just such a beautiful moment.
And no one objected, right? This was no controversy.
No, thank goodness.
Right.
It was up till the last minute, and I could have been the runaway bride on the Upper West Side, but it didn't happen.
It could have been Napolitano. We would have shown up and created chaos.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you for showing those pictures. Thank you for everybody taking part and saying such wonderful messages on Facebook and Twitter.
And he serves our great city. He's a firefighter, so we are so honored.
Thank you. Love you, Sean, if you're watching.
Service. And your boys are precious.
Here's to another 50.
Yeah,
right.
good. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Meanwhile, 18 minutes now before the top of the hour, next on our rundown, another Democrat cursing up a storm. Uh-oh.
Has he kept any of these promises? No. No.
What the heck is that? Have the Dems gone too far? We'll debate it with the Woodhouse brothers, and hopefully they'll keep it clean.
And the White House set to unveil a major jobs plan today, led by Ivanka Trump. She is here live at the top of the hour.
Excellent.
Makes me that much wiser. Thanks for making me wider. Maybe learn a little bit faster. Made my skin a little bit thicker. Makes me that much.
Today's weather is brought to you by Steel. Visit your local Steel dealer today.
Fathers who use Steel pass down more than their tools. This Father's Day, give Dad a gift that works as hard as he does. Right now, pick your power and get fuel or battery-powered equipment at a great low price. Trimmers start at just $129.95. Real dads, Steel dads. Find your Father's Day gift today at steeldealers.com.
Grilled burgers go great with Bush's baked beans. But if I'm feeling bolder, I go for Bush's grilling beans with steaks or chops.
Dude, I like this new wild side.
Bush's Beans. We've got a bean for you.
He's told that joke a million times, and you always laugh like you're hearing it for the first time. At Lincoln Financial, we get there are some responsibilities of love you gotta do on your own, and some you shouldn't have to shoulder alone, like ensuring he's well taken care of, even as you build your own plans for retirement. Ask a financial advisor how Lincoln can help protect your savings from the impact of long-term care expenses.
To find your ideal hotel, just go to Trivago, type in where you want to go, select your check-in and check-out dates, and search. Remember, Trivago shows you all the different prices for the exact same room. Hotel Trivago.
The all-new Volkswagen Atlas. Seats 7, sleeps 6. Life's as big as you make it.
These are the faces of arthritis, and when they have pain, they turn to Australian Dream.
Here's why they love it.
Australian Dream doesn't burn, and there's no odor.
There's real medicine in there. It's effective pain relief.
I bought it because of the money-back guarantee. I keep buying it because it works.
If you're one of the faces of arthritis, get Australian Dream. It's effective relief for arthritis backed by the empty jar guarantee. Back pain? Try Australian Dream Back Pain Cream. Real medicine, trusted relief.
Men's Warehouse helps you celebrate the special men in your life with gifts like dress shirts, 3 for $99, shorts and t-shirts all 50% off. Plus, buy one, get one free on more. Men's Warehouse.
When you connect better, everything comes together. Try it free at gotomeeting.com.
Another Democrat using the stage to cuss up a storm and blast President Trump. Listen to this.
Has he kept any of these promises? No. No. Instead, sorry. I understand this is a younger audience. It's okay. Fundamentally, if we are not helping people, we should go home.
New York Senator Kristen Gillibrand keeping with the Democrats' recent trend, publicly cussing the president. But does it go too far? The Woodhouse brothers are here to debate this. Brad Woodhouse is a former DNC communications strategist, and his brother Dallas Woodhouse is the executive director of the North Carolina GOP. Thank you, brothers, for being with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, Brad, because you're a Democrat, she's a Democrat. Do you defend her on this?
Absolutely. I don't have
Really?
I don't have a problem with it. First of all, if you're going to sit here and criticize Democrats for using this language, and you didn't criticize Donald Trump for using the same language on the campaign trail, for using the same language in his public discourse, then you're a partisan hypocrite. Look, we're in the Trump era of discourse, of political discourse in this country. This is a man who cursed his way to the nomination, cursed his way to the White House, who incited violence against against protesters at his rallies. I hardly think Democrats should apologize for reflecting the frustrations of the American people at his failed presidency.
Dallas, what was your reaction to this?
You know, granted, if I was the Democrats and I'd put all my eggs in the basket over former FBI Director Comey, and I was embarrassed the way they were this week with, you know, basically Trump being vindicated, I'd probably
You have got to be kidding.
But I
You
would
want to
do it
make
in
this?
private. Yeah, I tell you, this is
You
amazing.
want to make this
to
a
me.
discussion
we
of
just
Comey?
had, Brad, I know that you guys are classless, but please let me finish. You know, we just had our North Carolina Republican State Convention, and our speakers would be shouted off the stage, they would be pulled off the stage, our crowds would go crazy if people used that kind of language talking about any president, Democrat or Republican. I think it is vile. I think it is embarrassing to their party. And I think there's no excuse for it. And,
let me say
I
something,
know
Dallas.
they are frustrated, but here's the thing. There's a lot to be happy about in this country. Consumer confidence is up. The economy is going. Unemployment is going down. And I just don't understand this vile anger that they have just because of the political position that they are in due to their own cause.
Brad, I want to get your reaction after I read this. You know, several things I want to mention here. Let me read this first. This is from the Washington Post. She talked about having anxiety dreams shortly after the inauguration and stressing over not responding to a friend's daughter who tried to sell her Girl Scout cookies. Oh my, I don't like that to use the Lord's name in vain, but it says, oh my God, I've got to blanking order those cookies. Talking about Girl Scout cookies, Jerry Seinfeld always has said, in comedy, if you cuss and you talk about sexual stuff, then it's a crutch. I've also heard that if you use bad language like this, it's a sign that you're not so smart, because there are so many other words that you could replace it with. Brad, how did we get to this point where our politicians are using the F word several times on a stage and making the excuse that, hey, you're all young, so you talk like this anyway, I'm gonna try to relate to you?
Well, look, I think, first of all, I think people are, many politicians are reflecting the anxiety and the anger that the American people have at this president. This president is a failure. There's not one thing that you mentioned, Dallas, unemployment rate, consumer confidence, anything else, that's attributable to him. He hasn't passed one piece of significant legislation. He has not accomplished anything in his presidency.
Out of all these climate change
he has not accomplished anything.
And kill jobs.
He hasn't accomplished anything in his presidency. And you are a bald-faced liar when you say that people would walk out. People did not walk out on Donald Trump when he told people in New Hampshire to go F themselves.
Give you the last word quickly.
I would just say that she excuses the fact there are young people at Republican events. We have a lot of children, and we just wouldn't put up with it.
How do you wouldn't put up with it if Trump did it?
All right, Brad, Dallas, I don't think we can, I mean, I can't believe this is a discussion. A politician shouldn't be using the F word, and I hope that y'all would agree with me on that. We have kids to raise. You know, I don't want my daughter saying that word.
Horrible.
All right, thanks so much, guys, for being with us.
Thank you.
A Florida sheriff not menacing words when it comes to terrorism.
In my book, what's next is to fully understand that this is war, and you better be prepared to wage war to protect you, your family, and those around you if attacked.
That sheriff is here live coming up next. And what does Ivanka Trump think about fired FBI Director James Comey's testimony? She's going to tell us when she joins us live at the top of the hour. There she is with Steve in our green room, our new green room.
Award-winning interface. Award-winning design. Award-winning engine. The Volvo XC90, the most awarded luxury SUV of the century. Visit your Volvo dealer to take advantage of our midsummer sales event offer.
With United Healthcare, you can get rewarded for walking.
We want to welcome everyone to the father-daughter dance.
Walk, move, and earn money for out-of-pocket medical expenses.
He's okay!
United Healthcare.
La Quinta presents How to Win at Business. Step 1. Point decisively with the arm of your glasses. Abracadabra, the stage is yours. Step 2. Choose La Quinta, the only hotel where you can redeem loyalty points for a free night instantly and win at business.
All eyes on Ivanka. The president's daughter sits down with Fox and Friends. An exclusive look at how she sees more jobs coming to America. A must-see interview today.
How the world sees me, it's not important to me. I wonder if you'll feel the same way should the world turn against you. Life cannot be balanced like an equation. This world is dangerous, not because of those who do evil, but because of those who look on and do nothing.
You have achieved more than anyone in human history.
And yet if I died tomorrow, I'd be remembered as the man who ushered in the nuclear age.
The sun used to make our outdoor deck and patio space so hot and uncomfortable, we couldn't use it.
But then we discovered the Sunsetter retractable awning. Our Sunsetter retractable awning opens and closes in just 60 seconds. It keeps our patio about 20 degrees cooler.
It provides instant shade and instant protection from the sun's harmful rays.
And our Sunsetter costs under $700.
But now you can get your Sunsetter for as little as $599 when you call now to get this special $200 discount certificate and free awning idea kit.
We love our Sunsetter retractable awning, and you're going to love yours too.
Sunsetter awnings are assembled in America and guaranteed to last for years. So call now to get this free awning idea kit with DVD, plus your $200 Sunsetter discount certificate.
But this is a limited time offer.
Call now.
Call now for your free awning idea kit with DVD and $200 discount certificate. There's no obligation.
Take one. Let's talk about when you got braces for the first time.
I did have to wear headgear.
Pieces of metal in your mouth.
Popping off rubber bands, I'm breaking off brackets.
And by the end, my teeth moved back again.
Goodbye, embarrassing wires and brackets. At Smile Direct Club, we straighten and brighten smiles for 70% less. Each month, we'll send you invisible aligners that gently straighten your teeth for $99 a month. Go to SmileDirectClub.com to get started risk-free.
In my book, what's next is to fully understand that this is war, and you better be prepared to wage war to protect you, your family, and those around you if attacked.
A Florida sheriff sending a clear message on social media, urging people to arm themselves in case of an unseen attack.
His message has since gone viral. Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey joins us right now from Palm Beach County. Sheriff, I watched the video yesterday, and in the beginning you say, I am probably one of the most politically incorrect sheriffs in America, but your message is a potent one, and that is you've got to be ready because you don't know when somebody's going to come after you, right?
That's exactly right. The video was about preparedness. We want our citizens to understand that there's no way to predict where the next attack's coming from or even the next active shooter. So we want our citizens to be prepared to be the first line of defense, and that's what the video really spoke to.
Sheriff, what's the reaction from your community?
It's been very positive. In fact, yesterday we went through and looked at not only the comments but the likes and dislikes on it, and less than 1% of the people that were on our Facebook page, or about less than 1% disliked it. Everybody else loved it, and the comments were overwhelmingly positive.
You know, we're watching London, we're watching Paris, we're watching Brussels, and we see the average citizen of that country are sitting ducks. They become victims. And then we think about Orlando a year ago today. Victims just sitting there because the terrorist has the gun. You want to stop that.
I do. You know, the best law enforcement agencies in the country have response times in minutes, but a violent criminal can take your life in a second. So we need our citizens to be well prepared, to have already thought about their emergency plan. If they're a concealed carry holder, carry their gun with them. It's not doing any good at the house or in the car. Carry it where it's allowed to be carried. And no matter if you're somebody that carries a concealed or don't, have a plan. Have a secondary weapon, or even look to environmentally arm with things that are in the room or in your immediate environment.
That's a good advice.
Yeah, these terrorists don't want you to fight back, so you got to be able to put them on the defensive.
They not only don't want you to fight back, they're not prepared for you to fight back. They are there being the attacker, and when somebody turns it on them, their plan falls to pieces.
No kidding. All right, Sheriff Wayne Ivey joined us today from down in Florida. Sir, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for your service. A big week ahead for the White House, and Ivanka Trump will have a major part in that. She is here live to tell us all about it. Coming up next.
That's coming up now.
This is a ClassAction.com consumer alert. Unfortunately, the diabetes drug Invokana can cause diabetic ketoacidosis, kidney failure, dangerous infections, and even death. You don't have to face these effects alone. If you or a loved one were hospitalized after taking Invokana, contact ClassAction.com to learn your rights and to hold drug makers accountable. ClassAction.com. Information, protection, justice.
Introducing new Parodontax, the toothpaste that helps prevent bleeding gums. If you spit blood when you brush or floss, you may have gum problems and could be on the journey to much worse. Help stop the journey of gum disease. Try new Parodontax toothpaste.
Your car will get scratched, but Quick's PSR will remove them. Quick's advanced technology fills scratches with surrounding paint and has been proven to be the best scratch remover available. So don't just fix it, Quix it at Walmart and these fine retailers.
Hi. When you clock out, I'll clock in, sensing and automatically adjusting to your every move. There. I can even warm these. Does your bed do that? I'm the new Sleep Number 360 smart bed. Let's meet at a Sleep Number store.
Have you heard? Stanley Steamer's been certified asthma and allergy friendly for removing allergens from carpet, tile, and hardwood. Call or go online for our $99 special.
Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
Before fibromyalgia, I was on the go.
I kept on top of things. Then the chronic, widespread pain slowed me down. My doctor said moving more helps ease fibromyalgia pain. He also prescribed Lyrica.
Fibromyalgia is thought to be the result of overactive nerves. Lyrica is believed to calm these nerves.
For some, Lyrica can significantly relieve fibromyalgia pain and improve function. So I feel better.
Lyrica may cause serious allergic reactions, suicidal thoughts, or actions. Tell your doctor right away if you have these, new or worse depression, unusual changes in mood or behavior, swelling, trouble breathing, rash, hives, blisters, muscle pain with fever, tired feeling, or blurry vision. Common side effects: dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, swelling of hands, legs, and feet. Don't drink alcohol while taking Lyrica. Don't drive or use machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. Those who've had a drug or alcohol problem may be more likely to misuse Lyrica.
With less pain, I can be more active.
Ask your doctor about Lyrica.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't use my cell phone when I'm driving, even though my family does and leaves me all alone. Here's something else. I don't share it with Mom. I don't. Right, Mom? I have a brand new putter you don't even know about. It's awesome.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate.
Sometimes I leave the seat up on purpose.
Switching to Allstate is worth it.
One blockbuster hearing is in the books, and now another is on the way.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions will now testify before the Senate Intelligence Committee on Tuesday.
He's going to be asked to explain why he met, if indeed he did, with Ambassador Kislyak of Russia.
Senator Dianne Feinstein, she said after Comey's testimony, she has questions for former Attorney General Loretta Lynch, who allegedly told the FBI director to call the Clinton email investigation a matter.
I think we need to know more about that.
Just a matter of hours, the Supreme Court could rule on whether to enforce President Trump's travel order.
The White House set to unveil a major program to revamp your workplace, and Ivanka Trump is leading the way. It's Workforce Development Week.
A New Jersey high school under fire after President Trump's name is removed from 2 students' yearbook photos.
The people or person who did this should be held responsible because it was a deliberate attempt to censor and to silence someone's freedom of speech.
Big weekend for Janice.
We got married at City Hall 10 years ago. My husband was like, we got a big anniversary coming up. Maybe we should get married at church. It just feels so special to be in, the house of God.
Live from Studio F, it's Fox and Friends for a Monday. A very special guest right over here on the new curvy couch. Hey, look, it's Ivanka Trump, special advisor to President Donald J. Trump.
It's so nice to be here.
Welcome. Great to have you.
I join you almost every morning, just not on the couch.
What do you think of our new
studio? It's special to actually be here. It's amazing.
Right.
It's amazing. So the people, the location, the studio, it's great. So
and
it's a pleasure to be here.
And of course, how often you live in New York these days? How often are you here?
I don't get here nearly as often as I would like.
Yeah.
So
main
we've
difference?
been a little bit busy down in Washington.
You've been spending a lot of time down in the swamp.
Very, very busy, but I actually came up for an amazing occasion. My sister-in-law, Laura, had a baby shower, which was very,
I saw the
very
pictures.
Sweet. So it was great. We had an amazing time, all family, and just everyone came in for it, and it was really sweet.
Yeah.
I brought my daughter Arabella, who asked me if we were bringing Theodore to have him showered. And then I realized baby shower is not a self-explanatory term.
Yeah. I have to
If you've never heard it before.
Right.
It's very
There's
sweet.
certain things you can't Google.
Yeah.
Right.
So where's Theodore? Why isn't he coming?
So last week, everybody was focused. I think the 9 million people were watching in the middle of the day. They lost 33%. We lost 33% of our productivity because everyone was watching James Comey speak. What did you think? What do you think came out of that? Where did you watch it? What do you think emerged?
Well, my father felt very vindicated in all the statements that he's been making and feels incredibly optimistic. But, at the White House and throughout the administration, we were incredibly focused on the reason we all went to Washington and what we're fighting for. So last week, while it didn't get the level of headlines, it will ultimately have a much more important impact, was Infrastructure Week, focusing on the commitment to rebuild this country, rebuild rural locations which have fallen into great disrepair, repair our waterways, air traffic control. So there were a series of very important and big and far-reaching initiatives on infrastructure. This coming week is about workforce development. So with all the noise, with all the intensity that of the media coverage and obviously what makes headlines, ultimately we're really focused on why the American people elected Donald Trump as their president
People say
and
jobs,
implementing
jobs,
that plan.
jobs. And that's why you, your dad, Secretary of Labor, you're going to Wisconsin tomorrow to meet with with kids that are taking classes at the technical schools?
We're visiting one of the great examples of skill-based learning and skills-based education, a technical school in Wisconsin, which we're very excited about, to talk about the skills gap and to really highlight the fact that there is a viable path other than a 4-year college experience. So really investing in vocational education, skill-based training. There are 6 million available American jobs. So we're constantly hearing from CEOs that they have job openings, but they don't have workers with the skill set they need to fill those jobs.
Right.
So really bridging that gap and bringing experience-based education to the forefront. So apprenticeship. Actually, that's the
your
model.
father's familiar with
He knows
The
it very well,
Apprentice.
and it's worked throughout the world. And it's something we've de-emphasized here in favor of 4-year traditional college. But they don't have to be mutually exclusive.
And as somebody who's run her own business, this is something personal to you, because I'm sure there have been situations where we love to hire people, but we can't find the people who have the right skill sets.
It's true. And while it's not a woman's issue, it disproportionately affects women and minorities, especially when you think out into the future, where the available jobs today and the future jobs are coming from. A lot of them are in STEM-related fields, so science, engineering,
So
computer
teach them,
science.
train them today for the jobs of tomorrow.
Well, women are, for example, while we represent 47% of the overall workforce, we only make up 23% of STEM-related occupations. So we're moving in the wrong direction in terms of our participation, and that's something ultimately we need to change.
Right.
We'll encourage at K through 12, but also retraining for workers whose jobs have been displaced. So we have a huge emphasis on it this week, and it's critically important, and I think we can make a very big impact.
But not only that, this week for the administration, but in your book, you put your money where your mouth is. You have women who work out there, breaks down this whole issue, especially from the female perspective, because you've gotten a real handle on it. In the big picture, the 62% of the workforce that's working is more important than the unemployment number, perhaps, because a lot of people can work. They can't find a job that matches up with their skills. In some cases, they choose not to work.
Yeah, and we need the full participation. So many people are also working jobs that are part-time. And it's an enormous problem in this country, the number of part-time workers who are working 2 and 3 jobs that collectively they're making less than when they worked 1 job that's been replaced, and they don't have access to leave, to vacation, to holidays, to traditional benefits. So that's another problem that we're very much looking to address.
So this week, the White House is going to be talking about these things. Next week, Congress takes over, and there's a bipartisan bill that could inject $1 billion into this kind of stuff.
The Perkins Act, and it's been. It's a very good piece of legislation, so they're refining and extending it. But it's all about skills-based education and really making sure people have the technical skills to succeed in this modern economy. So we're very excited, and this is honestly what it's all about. I mean, we moved down to Washington. We want to be helpful. We want to do big things, important things, and there's nothing more important than enabling people.
Is it harder than you thought, though? Is it harder than you thought to stick to the things you want to do because of what keeps coming up, whether it's the Russia investigation or something else?
It is hard, and there's a level of viciousness that I was not expecting. I was not expecting the intensity of this experience, but this isn't supposed to be easy. My father and this administration intends to be transformative, and we want to do big, bold things, and we're looking to change the status quo. So I didn't expect it to be easy. I think some of the distractions and some of the ferocity was I was a little blindsided by on a personal level. But for me, I'm trying to keep my head down, not listen to the noise, and just work really hard to make a positive impact in the lives of many people. I mean, if you want to at the end of the day, if you want to think about difficult, it's the factory worker who's been laid off. Difficult is, the mother who's lost a child to opioid abuse. So these are the real challenges, and I think that does put it in perspective for me. Every time we get out into the country and meet with American people who are very optimistic about what's happening, and they see the economy and it's just booming. Small businesses have this sense of just vigor, and I was talking with somebody the other day who was referring to it as the animal spirits of small business owners have been released. So there is a tremendous energy, but there's also real challenges, and that's what we're looking to address.
Your father had his first foreign trip. What was your
Yes.
reaction? What are some of the highlights from that trip?
It's a
for you?
family trip.
That was an incredible trip, and
Yeah, Jared was there.
Yes, Jared was instrumental in organizing and planning it, and it was wildly successful. So Saudi Arabia alone, if you think about the historic nature of gathering 54 Muslim and Arab leaders to talk about the goal of eradicating terrorism.
It was America
and to
that
have
we
a
missed you.
collective effort. It was amazing, the leadership that my father showed, the way he was able to foster real dialogue, substantive dialogue that not only concluded in billions of dollars, almost $400 billion of business for American businesses, which was an amazing thing in and of itself, but the fact that there was able to be the substantive dialogue with these 54 leaders about how they'll collectively join to stop funding terrorism. There were commitments signed where there would be coordination to ensure that nobody was funding.
And then from Saudi Arabia, the direct flight into Israel made history that had never happened before.
And it was the first time a sitting president was at the Western Wall and had visited the hotel.
What was that like for you? Because you converted to Judaism. I know you and Jared are, your religion, your faith is extremely important to you. What was that like as a convert to be there in Israel and to meet with the Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister?
Every day in this experience has been surreal, but that was truly an unbelievable moment. So I feel blessed and privileged to have been there. It was deeply personal for me, as you note. So standing at the Western Wall in a moment of privacy, because it was really just us. It was our family that was there. It was beyond special. So really, it's hard to. For each of these moments, it's hard to find the words to adequately describe them. And then to move on to Rome and to meet with the Pope. So to have covered the 3 largest world religions over the course of 4 days, it was deeply meaningful.
Well, the reviews came in, and everybody said he did such a good job, very presidential. I want to ask you, though, personally, you've lived most of your life here in New York City. Now you've relocated to a nice neighborhood in Washington, D.C. It seems like every time you go outside to get a cup of coffee or take the kids out to the park or something like that, people are taking pictures of you.
That is a weird experience.
Right?
Every day there are photographers.
Look what she's wearing.
Yeah, no. So I'm looking for alternative routes out of my home, but it's there's a scrutiny and there's an interest that exceeds anything I had ever experienced before. But DC has been an amazing place. The kids are thriving, and ultimately for me, that's the number one most important thing. If the kids weren't happy, it would be very hard for me.
Yeah, no kidding.
And they really love it down there. So
does your husband like his job?
He loves it. I mean, talk about impact. You saw the results of so much of his hard work on display in Saudi Arabia and in Israel and subsequently in Rome. But aside from what he's doing on the foreign policy front, also the various initiatives he's focused on at home, really thinking about modernizing and innovating within government. We saw just this week an incredible announcement with Secretary Shulkins from the VA about how they're going to integrate their systems for the first time with the Department of Defense, which is something that they've been trying to do for 20 years, so that there could be continuous care for our soldiers as they leave service. So this is arguably the most important thing that's happened administratively within the VA in decades, and it just shows, you know, there's a real focus on getting things done and getting big things done. And obviously, my father has made taking care of our veterans his highest priority and is just laser beam focused on it.
So what about the talk of Jared clashing with the inside? Is that any of that true?
There is a 24-hour news cycle that gets fed by and is encouraged by lots of salacious details. But at the end of the day, we're all focused on the work, and that's very true for Jared. So he's somebody who just likes to get things done.
I know
so he doesn't get involved in sort of all of that.
I know you're going to Wisconsin. You're going to be talking to the voters and to the people, to
Yes.
the core of this great country. We're going to come down to Washington later in the week and talk to you about that. We appreciate you sitting down with us.
I can't wait. I look forward to it.
All right, great to see you, Monica.
Great
Thank
to see you.
Great.
When we come back, Evander Holyfield, Stuart Varney. One of them's a really good boxer. I don't know which one.
And Kellyanne Conway.
Performance. It's in every acceleration. It's in every corner. It's in.
Is your dog trying to tell you something? Allergic itch in dogs is a medical condition that's more common and treatable than you think. That's why there's prescription Apoquel, the revolutionary medicine that's giving millions of dogs the relief they deserve. Apoquel goes to the source of the itch to provide relief in as little as 4 hours. And Apoquel is safe without many of the side effects associated with the use of steroids. Apoquel is for the control of itch associated with allergic dermatitis and the control of atopic dermatitis in dogs. Do not use Apoquel in dogs less than 12 months old or those with serious infections. Apoquel may increase the chance of developing serious infections and may cause existing parasitic skin infestations or pre-existing cancers to worsen. Do not use in breeding, pregnant, or lactating dogs. Most common side effects are vomiting and diarrhea. Don't wait. Ask your veterinarian about Apoquel today. Apoquel. It's itch relief worth barking about.
Often, the greatest joy in raising children is teaching them. And Abeka's Flex Teach approach helps you decide what works best when providing a Christian education. It lets you mix and match our virtual classroom courses, digital textbooks, and more, inspiring learning in your children and confidence in yourself. We make it easy, so you can make it amazing.
More doing chores for mom per roll? More doing chores for dad per roll. More earning something you love per roll. Bounty is more absorbent, so the roll can last 50% longer than the leading Ordinary brand. So you get more life per roll. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. And now try Bounty with new Despicable Me 3 prints in theaters June 30th.
Saving up to 95% on their prescriptions with Blink Health has people talking.
Blink Health has truly changed my life.
Stop overpaying for your prescriptions. Go to blinkhealth.com today.
Life happens everywhere, like it never even happened, only happens here. The cleanup and restoration specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and servpro.com.
Fox News Channel on Sirius XM. Your favorite shows on Channel 114. Plus every story, every 15 minutes. Fox News headlines 24/7. Channel 115.
Well, numbers don't lie. The economy on the rise under President Trump, but the mainstream media has a whole different story. Here's some of the headlines. The New York Times claiming weak spots remain. Washington Examiner citing a roller coaster economy, and Bloomberg going as far as calling the president's economic agenda almost dead.
So how is the economy really doing? Here to break it all down for us, Varney & Company's own Stuart Varney from the Fox Business Network. Starts from 9, goes until noon. Stuart, how are we doing?
We're doing rather well, actually. Much better than the left wants to let
let you know about. Let me list it out for you. First of all, since the presidential inauguration, nearly 600,000 new jobs created in America, manufacturing, mining, drilling going very strong, 200,000 part-time jobs replaced with full-time jobs. The unemployment rate, 4.3%. The U6, let's not get technical, that's the real unemployment rate, all the way down to 8.4%. Home sales up, mortgage applications up, home prices up, credit scores average 700, best in a decade. Stocks are at record highs. The Dow Industrials have gone up, what, 10, 15% since the election.
Why is that? Is it because Donald Trump's a red tape cutter?
No. Yes, but it's the promise of growth in the future.
That's
From
scary.
tax cuts, less red tape, and an infrastructure.
Why don't you hear about it?
Why is it scary?
Because it's not done yet. Tax reform's not done yet. Health care is not done yet. Tax cuts aren't even done yet. Corporate taxes aren't done yet.
Yes.
Even though the president wants it, there's a whole group of people that want to stop him.
Yes, the left wants to stop him. The left knows that if the president is successful, especially with tax cuts, the economy will start to roll, and that'll put the Republicans and the president in a strong position for the elections
So they're
next
putting
year.
politics ahead of what's best for America.
Absolutely they are, yes. I think it's a disgrace, quite frankly. Here we have the media concentrating en masse, Russia, 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 Comey, 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 plots, investigations. All of that is front-page news all the time. What's going on in people's lives, better jobs, wages, housing improving, the improvement in our economy, our financial way of life, that goes uncovered, and that's a crying shame.
Right.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
all right. There you have it.
All right, 9 to noon, Fox Business, we're watching you.
I'm glad to hear it, sir.
All right, straight ahead.
The newest Hall of Fame boxer, Evander Holyfield, is in our green room ready to talk about the big moments from his career.
And scandal surrounding Shakespeare in the Park, a play depicting the assassination of President Trump. And you, the taxpayer, you're paying for it. Next, a woman who was actually in the audience for the first show is here to talk about the controversy.
Fathers who use steel pass down more than their tools. They pass down values. This Father's Day, give Dad a gift that works as hard as he does. Like dependable steel trimmers, starting at just $129.95, and legendary steel chainsaws, start at just $179.95. Real dads, steel dads. Find your Father's Day gift today at steeldealers.com.
As moms, we send our kids out into the world full of hope.
And we don't want something like meningitis B getting in their way.
Meningococcal group B disease, or meningitis B, is real. Bexsero is a vaccine to help prevent meningitis B in 10 to 25-year-olds.
Even if meningitis B is uncommon, that's not a chance we're willing to take.
Meningitis B is different from the meningitis most teens were probably vaccinated against when younger.
We're getting the word out against meningitis B. Our teens are getting Bexsero.
Bexsero should not be given if you had a severe allergic reaction after a previous dose. Most common side effects are pain, redness or hardness at the injection site, muscle pain, fatigue, headache, nausea, and joint pain. Bexsero may not protect all individuals. Tell your healthcare professional if you're pregnant or if you've received any other meningitis B vaccines. Ask your healthcare professional about the risks and benefits of Bexsero and if vaccination with Bexsero is right for your teen.
Moms, we can't wait.
There's nothing more important to me than my vacation. So when I need to book a hotel room, I want someone that makes it easy to find what I want. Booking.com gets it. They offer free cancellation if my plans change.
Visit Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Americans, 83% try to eat healthy, yet up to 90% fall short in getting key nutrients from food alone. Let's do more. Add One-A-Day Men's, complete with key nutrients we may need, plus heart health support with B vitamins. One-A-Day Men's in gummies and tablets.
Jane Sanders on Your World. She talks their new plan to push progressive ideas nationwide and reacts to the calls for Bernie 2020 tonight.
Where are we? About to see Progressive's new Home Quote Explorer, where you can compare multiple quote options online and choose what's right for you.
Whoa.
Flo and Jamie here to see HQX. Flo and Jamie, request entry. Slovakia. Triceratops. Tapioca. Racquetball. Staccato.
Me llamo Jaime.
Pumpernickel. Pudding.
Hey, guys.
Home Quote Explorer. It's home insurance made easy.
That's what it is. Hey, guys.
I have lived on this street for 64 years.
broad daylight. They broke into the front glass door, stole whatever they could get their fingers on. I need a home security system. I need something for protection.
It's Shaq and Jamie, ma'am.
My heart's going boom, 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 boom.
Get you some rings and make your home safer. Shaq and I just put this up for you.
Hey, Shaq, what are you doing there?
Now you have your Ring doorbells in the front, your floodlight cams in the back.
I love making neighborhoods safe. We're always home, baby.
Good Monday morning. Welcome back to Fox and Friends. Now, time for some headlines. In just hours, the Supreme Court could rule on whether to enforce President Trump's border order. The issue is the pause on citizens from Muslim-majority nations about religion or national security. The Trump administration says the order allows time to come up with a tougher vetting process. Those against it have until this afternoon to file a response. And terrifying moments in the air as a packed plane makes an emergency landing overnight after a massive hole rips in the engine during takeoff.
It got really loud and it was like, I feel blessed that it wasn't much worse than it looked.
The China Eastern flight to Shanghai forced to circle for an hour before landing safely back in Sydney. No word on the cause. And terror leader Oscar Lopez Rivera cheered and booed while being honored at New York's Puerto Rican Day Parade. His group claimed responsibility for more than 100 bombings across the U.S. This as Puerto Ricans overwhelmingly voted to become the 51st state. Congress has the final say on whether that happens. Ainsley?
Thanks, Jillian. Well, outrage over a New York City play portraying the president assassinated on stage and paid for in part by your tax dollars. Laura Schaefer of AM 970 The Answer, the radio show, saw this year's Shakespeare in the Park, and she joins us now to talk about it. Laura, what did you see? Julius Caesar, a Shakespeare production. What did you see that surprised you and appalled you?
Yeah, well, I was expecting it to be a classic rendition of Julius Caesar. So when I arrived, the stage was set very modern, very American, had classic American images in the background, and I knew it was going to be different. And of course, we know Julius Caesar's character as the lead. When that character was brought forth and it was Donald Trump, I mean, they didn't specifically say it, but his hair, blonde, reddish, had the tie tied too long. He was obviously the leader. Knowing where that was going, I was appalled, because you know then that the character is assassinated midway through the play. And to see that portrayed in Central Park was just too far.
What was the reaction from the crowd? The liberal New York crowd?
I think they accepted it and were fine with it. It was funny, it was entertainment, but to me, he's the president of the United States. He's in an office that should be respected, like him or hate him. Like, he's still the president of the United States, and I just saw it as, this is way too far.
As brutal as what Kathy Griffin did?
I'd say, if not worse, because it was a live rendition of it. It was so planned and calculated, and we're seeing it over and over again in front of a live audience of 2,000 people every night. Like, that's just too much.
Yeah. So some of the corporate sponsors have pulled out after this all became people in the media were aware of this. I understand the play's been running for weeks now. It only has one more week to run. Corporate sponsors that just pulled out, Delta and Bank of America. However, American Express and New York Times has not pulled out yet, and no telling whether or not they will. What was your reaction to that?
It makes me sad for Shakespeare in the Park, because the public theater is a great thing. But yet, at some point, like, justice needs to happen. Like, this is not okay. And tax dollars are paying for this. Like, it is not okay. So, I mean, I'm glad to see Delta Airlines pull out. I'm glad to see Bank of America pull out. But at the same time, I grieve, because this shouldn't have happened. Somebody along the way should have realized this is not okay.
Yeah, the bigger picture. What's your reaction to the way the mainstream media is covering this? You have Kathy Griffin holding up the head of a decapitated president with blood. You have Julius Caesar on stage dressed as Donald Trump with blood all over his shirt, and I understand blood splatters all over the stage.
Yeah, like I said, I just think we've misplaced any form of respect for our president. Whether right or left-sided, it doesn't matter. He is still the president of the United States. And if this had happened for Barack Obama, if it had happened for George W. Bush, any president in history, it would have been absolutely an outrage.
Would it have happened if President Obama were in office?
No. Can you imagine the first time that was on, we would have been hearing about it. And yet, I mean, it's been weeks since this has been on in Central Park, and we're just now starting the conversation.
Right. Laura Schaefer with AM 970 The Answer. Thanks so much for being with us, Laura.
Thank you.
Democrats have a new secret weapon to win back rural America, and it could be on your breakfast table right now. And Attorney General Jeff Sessions set to testify on Capitol Hill this week. This as new questions rise about James Comey's relationship with a special prosecutor on the Russia investigation. Kellyanne Conway is live from the White House with us, coming up next.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't use my cell phone when I'm driving, even though my family does and leaves me all alone. Here's something else. I don't share it with Mom. I don't. Right, Mom? I have a brand new putter you don't even know about. It's awesome.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate.
Sometimes I leave the seat up on purpose.
Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Julie is living with metastatic breast cancer, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of her body. She's also taking prescription Ibrance with an aromatase inhibitor, which is for postmenopausal women with hormone receptor positive, HER2 negative metastatic breast cancer as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ibrance plus letrozole was significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus letrozole.